Hi, my name is Eileen. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. I'm going to talk about JR. JR is a railway company in Japan. First, I will talk about the conclusion of which JR company is the best for why. Next, I will explain what kind of company JR is. And finally, let's compare the two largest company names, JR East and JR Central. Let's go. In my opinion, I recommend to buy JRcentral. I will explain the reason later on when I compare it with JR East. Let's look at the chart of JRcentral. This is a weekly chart and 1 year period. When I try to check the chart, which is airline company, it is so similar silhouette. MACD and source stochastics are showing sign of selling, but a buy sign was kept and sometimes struggled. Lastly, it turned and beginning of 2021. If I am you, I will wait for the next buying sign. Next, I will explain what kind of company JR is. The top five railway companies in Japan are as following. Number one to number three are from JR Group. In fact, there are more than just these three JR companies throughout Japan. This is the largest scale of railroad in Japan. It is company that is responsible for not only share each region but also freight. Railroad stocks are undervalued than regular companies. This is because they have a large amount of equipment such as rails and trains. In addition, the coronavirus epidemic restricted people from going out, which led to a sell-off in the stock. As a result, the stock is now cheaper. Here is a summary of PR and PBR. If I am going to buy a stock, I prefer it to have a large impact. So I compare two companies that are particularly large. Now let's check the indexes of the two companies. JR Central has good EPS and ROE and ROA, which measure management efficiency. In Japan, ROE is 10% and ROA is 5% is preferable. Respectively are used as standard to judge good or bad performance. Nonetheless, the PER is low at 8.5. On the other hand, JR is can be evaluated where its dividend yield is higher than JR Central is, and it depends on the whether you are looking for dividend or healthy index. But I saw that yield of 2.2%. It would be better to buy other stocks. I think JR Central is stock to buy now due to the coronavirus epidemic. And JR is the operating revenue is 55% compared to last year. The decline in the main railroad transportation revenue has a major impact on the company. Of the rail transportation revenue, the major decline in the demand for Shinkansen. Businessmen have realized that they can replace the meeting with Zoom. As for the Shinkansen, we believe that demand is unlikely to return in the future. For JR Central, the trend is almost the same. JR East runs a long distance to the north part of Japan, so demand for the Shinkansen and the service will fall. However, JR Central, which serves Only the metropolitan area will differently see a return of demand for community to work and school once economic activity resume. Therefore, I recommend JRcentral this time. Please look into other JR companies as well. That's all for today. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe to channel. Also, don't forget to like the video. See you next time.